Hi guys, it's me, Kimberly, and welcome to this new video. Today I'm coming with a new knitting podcast because we have lots to talk about. So thank you for joining me in this video. Before we start, I saw that a lot of guys who are watching are not subscribed to my channel. So please, if you like my videos and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and you will get a notification when I upload a new video. And well, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and let's get started. Today, as I said, is going to be a knitting podcast. Going to do it the traditional way. We're first going to start with finished objects, then whips and some acquisitions. So for the people who are new here, hi, my name is Kimberly, and well, in my normal daily life, I am a consultant in urban planning, and well, my hobby is knitting. I'm living in Amsterdam with my boyfriend and my cat, Frankie, so yeah, if you're interested in seeing more of my life, check out my vlog style videos, and let's get started with the finished objects. Today I have a summer top knitted project, and for people who are watching me for a longer time, they know I've not been a star in knitting and then finishing my summer garments. So I set a goal for myself, and that was knit a summer project on like not too small of a needle, so not fingering, and see if that helps the case, and not too much of finishing touches as necklines, the arms, etc. Because in that way I was hoping I would finish the project and still, instead of tossing it in the corner and putting it in hibernation. And that's what I did. It's the Cloud Top by Petiteknit, and knitted up in the pure silk of Knitting for Olive in the color Poppy Rose. I still have some left. Quite a lot is left. I don't know where I let the swatch, but I did swatch. I was not meeting gauge, and I calculated on which size I would want it to get knitted on. However, I think I did something wrong, and I think I have some gauge issues the last couple of weeks. So I don't know where my swatch is, but as I said, I have been having gauge issues, and I think I also interpreted it the wrong way. So I had the gauge issue. However, I loved how the swatch turned out, so I didn't really wanted to switch needle size because I still wanted to be airy and flowy because it's a summer garment. However, due to me not meeting gauge, I had to see if I was going to knit a different size because I wanted the finished object to be a size small, and I think I did the gauge the other way around. So I interpreted it that I needed to go up a size while I should have gone down a size. So that resulted in a garment that is too big, and I will get on it again with my whips, the gauge issue, but I will put in some clips of me wearing this and trying it on even before blocking, and you will see that I have too much space under the arms. So the arm openings are way too big, and it's really showing my bra when I'm wearing it. I mean, it's not that bad. However, it's really showing part of the cup when I'm moving my arms. So, and that's not really what I'm looking for. I don't mind that it's a bit too big or too flowy, but it's just showing too much and I'm not liking that vibe. So I think if I would wear this again, I would probably see it more as like a very summery garment vibe, vacation, where I'm wearing a bikini, and that it's not that bad if parts are showing. However, I wore it to work after I blocked it, and when I first put it on, I didn't really see it in the morning, but then I had a couple of meetings and I was moving my arm and I was showing my bra and I was like, okay, we cannot wear this top to work again, which I was hoping I could, because it's high neckline, it's a bit like on the shoulder, so I'm quite comfortable. It's like corporate approved on summer days, but it's just not. Also, the neckline was not really doing the right thing, because I tried to pick up in between under a couple of the bars, so you will get a neat edge, or at least see the knit stitches go through instead of clearly seeing where you picked it up, because that sometimes happens. If you do not pick up enough, you can see the cast on edge through the stitches. Then it was rolling over and it was showing that inside, so I blocked it. And I mean, the blocking fixed that issue, but it also made the garment even bigger. So I liked it. It feels nice. I did not change the needle size, but I did change the sizing to get the correct size. However, that backfired, so don't listen to me. And it was quite intense knitting with the pure silk on my hands. I did really feel that in my wrist. It just feels different, even though I was knitting it on metal needles. But it happened. I'm happy. I will probably get a lot of wear out of it when I'm on vacation, and I love the color. I'm loving it. I would definitely knit something in this color again. So I did that. Perfect with picking up the colors. You live and you learn, so we're fine. And because I lived and learned, I got to implement that on my whips. So let's get into the whips, because I do not have that much finished garments at this moment, but I do have a lot of whips. And I think we're going to start with yarn that I had in stash. So I had 3 bowls of the Knitting for Olive cotton merino, and I got that I think almost 2 years ago to knit a summer top. And I bought the pattern, I believe it's called Camisole no.5 by MyFavouriteThingsKnitwear, to knit that up with this yarn. However, I started and it was not really working out, so I ripped it back and it just got dumped in my stash. And I also did not pick that up, finishing. And I was also not that drawn to the pattern again, so it just stayed. I felt sad that it was just laying around in my stash, so I thought, what can I knit with it? And I did not want a top that was having this high neckline and then the big round to the shoulders. So I looked for something different. However, I also did just knit the cloud top in stockinette, so I was like, what should I make? And then I landed on the mixed rib cami top by Florance. And I thought, that's perfect. I can knit that top with it. So I made a super tiny little swatch because, well, I'm a bit lazy. And it sort of felt like I was meeting gauge. However, I was starting the project on the recommended needles, and I believe that's 3mm metal needles. And I was chilling in the park with my boyfriend, and I was knitting away on it. I was looking at it and I thought, that's a bit big. How is this? I didn't saw it. So my boyfriend was like, just put it down, go knit on your sock and measure it when we get home, because otherwise you're gonna be sad you did all that work here in the park and it did not turn out how you want it. So I checked a couple of YouTube videos of other people who was knitting the mixed rib cami top, and well, their ones were like in width wise so much smaller. So I was like, okay, definitely it's not working. So I listened to my boyfriend, put it down, and when we went home I got my measuring tape, and turned out indeed I was supposed to get around 32 centimeters for my size, and it was more hitting like 40 centimeters. And it also felt not very structured. So I again measured my gauge and it was off. So we had to go back to the drawing table, and I had to go down half, like a needle size. So I ended up doing it on 2.5mm needles, and this is way better. The fabric is way less see-through and stretchy, feels way more structured, and this is looking like a good fit because I want it to be a bit tight fitting and not as loose. So I'm very happy with that. This is the progress I made over the last couple of days. It's looking good. I liked the mixed rib with the twisted rib and normal rib. However, as people probably have the same issue, you can definitely see where you're switching over from the normal knitting to the purl and then to the mixed, like the twisted rib, because I tried to like really pull it, the strand of yarn, and knitting the purl very tight to avoid the gap. However, as hard as I'm trying, it's not really working. So maybe it will fix itself with blocking, because I now don't really like how it's turning out. But I looked at some Ravelry projects and I saw a lot of people have the same issue, and I even watched a video of Nimble Needles on how you can fix that, and yeah, I don't know, I think we just have to live with it. It's fine. We will probably get a very nice garment out of it. I love how it feels. So we just have to continue knitting on it, and I will update you, of course, in my vlogs or in my next knitting podcast. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the difference of the fabric dropping down. But normally when I was knitting, I normally had to go up a needle size to meet gauge. And with all these fingering weight garments, I've been experiencing the exact opposite. So I don't know if it's because I'm now knitting on metal needles instead of wooden needles that my gauge has changed so much, or that I'm just a bit weaker in the hands at this moment, or that it's just specifically because I'm knitting with fingering weights. I don't know. I would love to hear your experience in that, and if you have the same issues with switching to metal needles, or that it's just me and my hands and that I'm a bit weaker. I must say, due to some health issues, I do have way less energy. So maybe that's showing in my knitting with not having that much tension. So I don't know what's going on, but I had the same issue with the next whip, and that is another lovely pink garment, because I'm in my pink era, guys. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So I've had finished my fully mohair sweater. I believe it's the Stockholm sweater from Petiteknit, like the beginning of this year, last year. And I'm really loving the end result. I can bring it everywhere. It's so lightweight and it's so warm, and it fits under jackets because it's not that bulky, but it's still giving you so much warmth. So I thought I like that airy mohair as a throwover. And I saw Petiteknit with her Ivy blouse in the lovely, what is it called, beige banana yellowy blouse, and I was like, oh, that would be perfect in pink. So I ordered myself some yarn, and I opted for the Knitting for Olive very lovely pink yarn. It's so beautiful. I was contemplating on getting the Poppy Rose as I knitted my cloud top in, but then I wanted a bit cooler of a pink, so I went for the Cherry Blossom, and I can't wait to wear this. It will be perfect. It will be perfect. So I got that yarn this week and I started swatching. Again, I just started swatching with the recommended needle size. Finished my swatch. Was having less stitches than the gauge should be. I believe the gauge would be 23 and I was hitting 20, 21. So I was like, maybe I should get down to 3.25 because I don't want to like knit on this small of a needle again because my hands. And the Stockholm sweater, I believe 2 strands held together, I went knitting like on 4.5. So I was like, why is it not working? But I also have the Chaogu needle set and it's going to 3.25 and then 2.75 and not a 3mm needle. So I was kind of leaning like, should I go to 3.25 millimeters? But then I do have some Knit Pro 3mm metal needles, and I thought, let's just swatch and see how the swatch turned out and see if we're hitting gauge, and then I can decide from there if I still want to go to 3.25 or that I stay with the 3mm needle. And I did a smaller swatch just to get the stitches because I feel like it's a raglan construction, so if I think it's not long enough, I can add some extra in there. But measuring, like, you can definitely see the difference in the fabric, and because it's a light color, I liked that it was a bit tighter knit and not as see-through. So I'm happy we did go for the 3mm. And well, I have been knitting away on it for the last 2 days, I believe. This morning and yesterday I casted it on, yeah. And this is how far we got. And that's also when I found out that I do prefer the Chaogu needles over this Knit Pro metal needles because they're a bit more pointier, and I feel how the needle and the cable are connected feels a bit more smooth on Chaogu needles than on this one. Also, one is a bit crooked because I one day sat on it for a bit, I believe, but it's very bendable. So I just like tried to manipulate it and now it's kind of straight again. But I'm loving it. First I was a bit scared it's not fitting over my head, so I did do a try on, but it's fitting. So we're in the safe zone, and I'm really loving the construction, and you can really see it, how it's turning out, and I'm loving it. It's looking very good, and I'm knitting away on it quite easily on these 3mm needles. Must say my hands are not really hurting yet, so that's good news. That's good news. Do I have more to say on this? Except for the fact that I have a changed knitting style or gauge. I don't know what happened to me. Yeah, I must say I did knit the full mohair sweater on mohair from Isager, and when this package arrived in the mail and I was touching the mohair, it felt a bit itchy, and I did not have that with the Isager. I did not experience that in any way, so I'm a bit scared that it's going to be feeling a bit itchy on the neck because it's quite high neck, and I hope after blocking maybe it will feel a bit softer. But yeah, let me know if you had that same experience in the mohair with Knitting for Olive or Isager, because maybe next time I should go for the Isager mohair again. I do feel it doesn't really matter if you're holding it together with something else, but in this case I think it would have been better, or at least felt softer, if I went for the Isager. But then I was really loving this color, so it's always, yeah, you have to choose, and in this case I choose color, and yeah, maybe I just have to live with it that it's going to be a bit more itchy than the other one. But loving this, and it feels summery, although it's not going to be as summery because it's going to be warm and woolly, but the color, yeah, for the colder days I think it will be perfect. That was that. And then I did something good because I had some summer projects that were in hibernation for 2 years, and then one that is in hibernation for more than a year. So I had 2 almost finished summer garments that were just wasting away, and I asked on the videos that should I rip it back or not, and some people were like, well, if you haven't touched it in so long, just frog it. But I couldn't get it over my heart to frog them, so sorry for all those plastic bags, but I'm out of nice project bags, so they're just in plastic bags. But I also have to protect them from my cat, so I do really need to put something around the projects. I can just not just toss them in a basket, because then hell will break loose. So first one that's in hibernation for 2 years is the Twisted Loop top by Otherloops in a lovely lilac pink color. And I did the body, and then last year I mean 2 years ago I did the body. Last year I did the full neckline, and then this year I did the I-cord edging. This was the first time I did any I-cord edging. Can you imagine all these projects, and I did not do like the I-cord edge before. So that was the first experience, and I must say I kind of liked it. It felt kind of mindful and not that tedious as I would have expected from people, their experience. So I'm happy with it. I do still have to attach them, but I'm loving it. However, do I like the finished garment? I will try it on for you and show you. It's mostly that the neckline feels very high up and the shoulders again are very open, and then it's very large and wide underneath the armpits. I think that look just doesn't really suit me. I don't know if it's like my style or that it's the body type that I have that I don't feel it matches. And I think I want to rip back the neckline. She also updated the pattern this year, so I downloaded the updated pattern, and in that one she does not have the fold edge neckline but just a regular neckline, and I think in this case it would be better. She did do a rib neckline, and I'm contemplating on if I rip it back, I will probably make it just stockinette to feel it matching the I-cord. But I also still have to block it, and I think maybe it's a bit too big. So I'm gonna come back to it. I'm gonna block it after this video because we have some sunny days in our near future. I believe it's gonna be 30 degrees next week, so then it can easily dry and then see how it is on. I will probably show that in one of my vlogs and change the neckline if I'm up to it. But I'm feeling like we're so far now. We just gotta persevere and see what happens. And if I don't like the end result, I'm just gonna gift it to somebody who is happy with it, because there has been so much work and love in this one, and I feel that should not get wasted. It's quite warm here. I need to get some water. I feel sweaty. And then the next pink garment and a next summer garment that has been in hibernation for a year, so not 2 years but a year, and it's my Camisole No.9, knitted on with the yarn of Olivia And Oliver Fibres. It's a Dutch hand dyer, and it's the first time I was knitting with a hand dyed yarn that's not for socks, so I really wanted to try a hand dyed yarn for a summer garment, and I went for the Camisole No.9. Very happy with the fit. I think it's going to be perfect, but I must say that it was such a tedious work to do all this ribbing, and now I understand why I put it off for so long. Because you have to, instead of picking it up from the right side, you pick up stitches from the wrong side. So you have to read the garment. And I now know how to read the garment from the right side and pick up and get a good outcome. But this time I really had to look at how I had to pick up between the purls to get it neatly, and then also get the right amount of stitches per X amount of stitches to get the right pickup rate. It took me a while, and then you just knit stockinette, which I mean that goes by quite fast. But now, as you can see, I don't know what this is. As you can see, I did all the extra ribbing that was needed, did all the finishing touches of weaving in the ends. The body is blocked, by the way, and the arms are not, so that's why it's probably like looking a bit like it's ruffling. I think that will get fixed once I blocked it. But yeah, I now have to go finish it and pull over the edges and I'll knit them together or with the needle, and I think that's just going to be another tedious work. So how much I love, probably gonna love the end result of this. I probably won't choose this type of edging anytime soon because it's just a lot of work and I feel it's too much for me. I mean, people can be different, but yeah, that's the only note I will give. Overall, I think it's gonna look great. I don't have a lot of anything else to say about this. So that's this one. What do we have for whips? Another plastic bag. I feel so bad. Technically, my Sophie hood is also still a whip, and my Sophie scarf as well, because I have to weave in the ends, and for the Sophie hood I have to still attach the back, but I'm not counting that today, and there's like that doesn't change anything. So if you're interested about those patterns, check out my previous videos. And the same goes for the teddy pants by Petiteknit, the baby garment. I still did not get any further with that, so that's been, yeah, no progress, so nothing interesting to say, except that I still have to do it. But I did make some progress on my Esther Sweater. This has been laying around for months as well, I think for half a year now, probably. And I finished the body, did the ribbing of the body, but I never picked up for the sleeves. And I had a lovely follower message me on Instagram asking some questions about the pattern, and she motivated me, or at least her seeing so involved in this project made me want to pick it up again. So I did. I picked up stitches for the sleeves. Yeah, it's by Petiteknit as well. I'm knitting it up in the recommended yarn, Jensen Yarn by Isager, and the mohair from Isager. And if I feel this mohair, it just feels way softer than the one from Knitting for Olive. So if you're sensitive, really go for the Isager. It's not cheap. I know it's expensive, but you also don't want to end up with a garment you're not wearing. So I did pick up the sleeves, try to really get the neat edge for the shoulder and going into the arm. I sort of got it right, but not really. So I'm thinking maybe I should put a duplicate stitch on it so we really get the neat edge. I also was contemplating a lot on if I should pick up less stitches, because I did see some people and finished garments where the arms looked really wide. So I compared it to one of my other sweaters, and indeed it's a bit wider, but I feel the whole sweater is a bit boxier as well and quite big. So I think it will be fine. However, I am now at the end of doing all the decreases and the pattern repeats for the sleeve. It was really easy to pick it up again. I was scared that once you're out of a textured garment, or at least like a not stockinette garment where you have to read the pattern or the charts, I was scared I was not getting into it that easy, but I just picked it up and it went smooth sailing. So I think I did this in a couple of hours a day. So I think 3 days knitting in the evening after work. So it went quite fast. But as I will show you in some clips, it's a bit short still, the sleeve. So I don't know if I should continue and add an extra repeat and decrease and then start the last ribbing of the arm, or that I just leave it this way, do the ribbing, and then see how the length turns out, because I'm quite happy that I finished on a full repeat and not a half repeat. And if I would add to it, I would probably only need half a repeat and not the whole repeat, and I don't know if I would like that as much. So that's also because I finished the body on a full repeat as well, so I'd like to match that. In my latest vlog, I did sort of do a catch up on all these whips. If you haven't seen it and are interested, go check that out. Maybe I did say something else that I'm not saying, because, well, I don't know what I exactly said in that video. But I do remember somebody commenting on the video that I should probably do the neck first and then see how it sits, because the neck can also help the garment in its structure, and then maybe check out how I think the fit is, or then even start the other one and leave the stitches resting here, start the other sleeve so then the garment is in balance when I try it on, and go from there. Maybe even block it before I do the last edges, because I do like them quite long and my arms are quite long, so that's still a mission, but I can't wait to get this done actually, so I should maybe prioritize this one a bit more. But yeah, we only got so much time in the world, right? So we'll see. I have a lot to do and not the time to do it. So I think it's time to go to acquisitions, and that's not a lot because it's just one bowl. Oh no, I forgot my sock. Oh, it's not that interesting, but hey, we have to appreciate the little things. And I did, because look at that, the last time we were here and now we're almost done. I still have to do the toe, but the needles that I'm doing that on normally are now in this camisole, so I should probably just order some extra needles for the interchangeable set that I do have 2.5 in the interchangeable set on the long 13 centimeters, because if I'm just knitting on the small shorties for too long, the hands are not happy. But I think maybe I do have some DPNs. I've never knitted with DPNs before, but I did buy them, and I'm just doing the toes on the DPNs. I could do that, and then the circle needle is free to cast on the second one, because I do highly believe if you almost finished the first one or finish the first one, you should definitely start casting on the second one, because otherwise it's going to be a lone wolf for a very long time. I've learned from that. So do with that what you want. So now, yes, acquisitions. I went to visit the yarn store in Amsterdam, Stephen and Penelope, because they switched locations. So they got a brand new location, brand new store, and it's way bigger than the first one. So if you're interested in seeing some clips of this yarn shop and yeah, get my opinion on it and the experience, please check out my latest video. It's a vlog. I will put in a thing here. There I am visiting the store and showing you all the beautiful yarns they have. It's a shop that has a lot of hand-dyed yarns, so it's expensive, but yeah, for little projects I do like to use that kind of yarn, and I picked up this yarn. It's the same yarn as I knitted up this lovely top, and it's a mix, so it's, I believe, merino and ramie and silk, so that makes it a bit more of a summery yarn, but still has quite a high percentage of wool. I believe it's 60%, because I had a very nice project in mind. So I already wound up the wool, and I saw this, I don't know her real name, but I think it's Woozy by Celine on YouTube and Instagram. I've been following her, and she was talking me through some summer tops she made last year, and she made this beautiful cabled top. I'll add in a picture of the pattern, and I really had ambition. So, can you see, with all this fingering weight yarns and all these summer projects, well, I've never been good at finishing them, but I sometimes feel you just have to follow your feeling, and if you really want to make it, just start it. So I did, buy the wool, kicked it up, started trying to swatch, and that's where we went south. No, I would not say that, but I had quite a couple of busy and stressful weeks at work as well, so I felt like my mind was not really there in the evenings when I tried to start the knitting. So I tried to watch the video on how to do the cables. It was just not really working. The needles fell, I don't know what it was, but it was just not working. So maybe I should try to knit it on wooden needles, because I do really like my Knit Pro Ginger wooden needles, and try that one because it's less slippery. And maybe just start with a couple of stockinette rows and then distribute for the cables, and then try to do the cables and see what gauge I'm at, because I do really want to knit a gauge wash, because I've been so off of gauge with all my other projects. I don't want to risk it, and it's a very fitted garment with decreases for the bust as well, so I just want to make it perfect, and I just have to go sit for it where I have some mental space to give it my full attention and energy, and then we will get a lovely garment. So yeah, that was my only acquisition. As I said before, I really normally buy wool with a project in mind, and I then really try to use it. I made an exception for that in Japan, in Tokyo, and forgive me, I still didn't do those videos. The footage is there, I just give me some time. But I think that's it for today. I think I don't forgot anything for now. Oh, I did forget something. My dad loves cycling through the Dutch land and we do have a lot of sheep. However, they're more used as lawnmowers. Would you say this? They eat the grass, and they're kept for maintenance of the grasslands and not for wool, because the wool those sheep have are not really suited to make any yarn out of it, because it's very itchy. And he was cycling and said there were buckets of wool that you could just grab for free, so he brought me a bag of it. And I'm still contemplating on what to do with it, if I should maybe knit something for a pillow and then put this wool in, but that means I have to wash it and everything, because it's just, you can't really see the dirt still in there, and maybe some poop, I don't know. But please let me know if you have an idea for me to do with this, because I do really want to use it. However, I just don't know how. I don't know. Please let me know. I would really appreciate some tips, because it feels like it's just sitting in my corner now, and I should probably get some use out of it. So it smells great, like sheep, if you would get a whiff out of it. So the cat also really loves it. So I thought maybe I should just knit something and put that in for the cat, and you can just lay on it. I don't know. But I think that is really it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. It was a wild ride again, lots of projects, lots of whips. So I have to distribute my energy to give them all love and the attention they deserve. But I think we'll be doing fine. I hope you liked the video. If you stayed till the end, chapeau. Yes, don't forget to like or subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos. I try to do a lot of vlogs as well. You can see the day-to-day knitting and just a little bit of my life. And I will see you in the next. And if you want to stay in touch, check out my Instagram, Knits.by.Kim. And yes, bye for now, I guess. Enjoy your knitting time. I'd love to hear what you're making, and see you in the next video.
I can't get enough. No, I can't get enough. I'm falling in love. You're all I'm thinking of. Taking my time, messing my life. Swear I don't mind. Say that you'll stay holding me close. Swear it's alright.